$13 billion in projected revenue, 48 national teams, and 104 matches spread across 3 North American countries. The 2026 World Cup has officially started. I'm your host, and welcome to today's analysis.
And I'm your resident expert, so glad to be here to tear into this with you all.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Because while the stadiums are glowing, the fans are chanting, and billions of people are glued to the players on the pitch, we actually have a very different mission for today's analysis.
They really do.
Right. We are looking past the freshly cut grass, past the spectacular goals, and, well, past the national flags. We want to show you how North America is actively turning the world's most popular sport into a massive, highly engineered commercial and geopolitical power event.
Because what you are watching play out right now, it isn't just a traditional sports tournament. When you look at the sheer scale of this operation, it is actually a live, real-time demonstration of how to capture, process, and monetize global human attention at an entirely unprecedented level. Yeah, I mean, we are witnessing the industrialization of a cultural phenomenon.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to truly understand what you're watching over the next few weeks, you have to realize that the actual product on display right now isn't just football. I mean, the football is merely the hook, right? It's the bait.
Exactly.
The real product is the monetization of that global attention.
It fundamentally shifts how you have to view the event. We naturally tend to think of a host country as just, a geographical location with some nice stadiums and good infrastructure.
Sure, like a place to play.
Right. But in this modern era, a host country is actually a massive, complex distribution system. What's fascinating here is that the true power of this event lies completely unseen by the cameras.
Unseen? How so?
Well, it's not in the 90 minutes of play. The actual machinery is the logistics networks moving thousands of people across borders. It's the integrated security operations spanning 3 sovereign nations, the digital payment processing gateways quietly taking a fraction of a cent on millions of transactions, and the exclusive corporate hospitality infrastructure holding it all up.
So the match on the pitch is just the center of gravity keeping everything else in orbit.
Exactly.
And since we're analyzing a distribution system, the geography of this specific tournament is completely intentional. I mean, this isn't contained to a few neighboring cities like we've seen in decades past.
Not at all.
We're talking about a continent-wide setup from Vancouver to Mexico City, from Los Angeles to New York. It acts like a highly engineered machine designed specifically to capture and refine attention. But how does that massive geographical footprint actually work to their advantage?
You have to look at what each of the 3 host nations brings to the table, because they each offer a very distinct complementary piece to what is essentially a continental operating system. Let's break it down.
All right, let's hear it.
So the United States provides an unrivaled, fully optimized sports media engine. The U.S. market perfected the art of packaging live sports into highly profitable broadcast and advertising ecosystems.
Which makes sense. And then Mexico.
Mexico brings undeniable football legitimacy, profound cultural passion, and historical weight. Think of the iconic Estadio Azteca, which grounds the tournament in real football heritage.
Oh, absolutely. The history there is huge. And Canada.
Canada offers high-income reach, top-tier municipal infrastructure, and a highly secure environment for corporate partnerships. When you lock those 3 distinct elements together, you don't just have a map of stadiums. You have a flawless mechanism for extracting value from every possible demographic.
And the raw material powering this entire tri-country engine is a concept we found repeatedly in today's analysis. Synchronized attention, the key word there being synchronized.
Precisely. Because, look, we live in an era of completely fragmented media. If you think about a blockbuster film or a massive hit television series today, the audience can wait.
Right. They just stream it whenever.
Yeah, they stream it on their commute, they binge it on a weekend. The commercial value of that content holds over time. But a live World Cup match operates under completely different physics. Its commercial value drops to absolute zero the very second the final whistle blows and the result is known.
Because nobody is paying premium advertising rates to sponsor a replay of a match whose score is already trending on social media.
Exactly. That urgency is everything. It is why airlines, international broadcasters, and global corporate sponsors are willing to pay astronomical premiums to be a part of it. It is the rarest commodity on Earth right now.
Hundreds of millions of people all looking at the same thing.
Hundreds of millions, sometimes billions, all looking at the exact same screen at the exact same time, feeling the exact same tension. In a world where everyone is in their own algorithmic media bubble, This tournament forces the globe into a single, synchronized moment.
That makes me think of this entire event like a massive global trade fair. Like if you imagine a gigantic convention center, the 90-minute match is just the main stage. It's the keynote presentation that gets everyone in the door.
I love that analogy. The players are essentially the display models.
Right. But the real economy, the multi-billion-dollar media rights negotiations, the city tourism branding, the sponsor integration, the quiet geopolitical soft power being exerted, all of that is happening off the main stage. It's happening in the VIP suites, in the exclusive hotel lobbies, and in the broadcasting boardrooms.
And if the trade fair is the economy, the North American sports business model is the refinery for that economy.
Which naturally leads us to a huge tension. If synchronized attention is the raw material and North American infrastructure is the refinery, how does this aggressive monetization actually impact the everyday fan?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Right. I mean, the person who has saved up for years, who paints their face, who just wants to participate in the game they love.
That is where we have to look closely at what analysts call the villain frame. When a tournament becomes this sprawling and this expensive, it's very easy for fans to look for a bad guy. People want to blame a greedy executive or a specific country or, a ticketing agency.
Sure, we see that all the time online.
But the villain here isn't a single person or a specific nation. The villain is the underlying system itself.
How so? Explain the mechanics of that system for us. Why is it different this time around?
Because it is a system where attention has become so hyper-valuable that every single layer surrounding the game must be optimized for maximum financial extraction. Let's look at the North American sports model compared to traditional global football.
Okay.
Historically, European or South American football clubs built stadiums in working-class neighborhoods. You could walk to the ground, buy a cheap standing room ticket, and go home. The North American model operates differently. It treats a stadium not as a community asset, but as a premium corporate campus.
Right. It's an entire enclosed ecosystem designed to capture every dollar before you even see the pitch.
Exactly the mechanics of it. They utilize dynamic ticketing algorithms that read demand in real time, instantly adjusting seat prices, like fluctuating stocks. Instead of fixed, affordable prices, you have algorithmic scarcity.
Wow.
And then you layer on complex cross-border logistics. If you want to follow your team from a group stage match in Toronto to a knockout game in Houston, you are dealing with automated hotel scarcity pricing, premium VIP lounge upcharges at the airports, and exorbitant parking fees.
At entertainment districts that are intentionally designed to be inaccessible by public transit, no less.
Exactly. The system isn't broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed to, which is to price out the casual viewer and cater exclusively to the highest bidder.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because there is a massive, almost glaring contradiction playing out right in front of us regarding who this tournament is actually for.
Oh, the expansion.
Yes. For 2026, the governing body expanded this tournament from 32 to 48 teams. On paper, when you look at the fixture list, that looks incredibly inclusive. It looks like a victory for democracy in sports.
More nations, more flags.
Right, more representation from countries that have never had a chance to play on this stage. But because this expanded tournament has been fed directly into that North American corporate campus model you just described, it becomes highly exclusive the moment you reach the checkout page.
It is the ultimate paradox. You are democratizing the participation for the athletes, but you are gentrifying the participation for the fans.
Yes. It makes me wonder about the end game of this model. Like, if physical attendance has become a premium luxury, if just walking through the turnstile requires the budget of a luxury vacation, does the television broadcast become the actual intended product for the vast majority of the world?
The short answer is yes. The physical fan of the stadium is no longer the primary customer.
That's kind of sad, honestly.
It is, but modern sports, driven by this highly effective North American model, are actively and unapologetically moving toward a premium class hierarchy. The game on the pitch remains deeply, undeniably emotional. The players are still crying when they hear their national anthems, but the architecture surrounding those players has become ruthlessly financial. You have a global festival broadcast on the screen, but it is a premium gated access product at the turnstile.
But wait, I do want to push back on this quite a bit.
Go ahead.
Because if we only view this through the lens of cold financial abstraction, I think we miss why the machine works at all. We cannot ignore the genuine human emotion that fuels this entire event. I mean, without that raw emotion, without the generational love for the game, this whole corporate architecture collapses overnight. The sponsors wouldn't care if the fans didn't care.
I hear your point, and the emotion is absolutely real for the fan in the stands.
Hmm.
But from the system's perspective, that emotion is just the necessary bait. Let's be analytical about this.
Okay.
The governing bodies didn't add 16 new teams to this tournament purely out of a desire for global harmony and inclusion. They added those teams to unlock brand new, highly lucrative regional broadcasting monopolies in developing markets.
Mining that new emotional attachment for media rights.
Exact.
I understand the cynical view, but the results on the ground still matter. A bigger tournament genuinely gives smaller nations a global platform they have never had before. For a country qualifying for the first time, this brings vital funding for grassroots development back home.
That's true.
It exposes entirely new North American audiences to a sport they might not have followed. And on a diplomatic level, it fosters real, tangible cooperation between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada to pull this off. For the millions of fans watching right now, whether they are in a heavily monetized stadium seat or just standing outside a local plaza watching on a giant screen, this isn't about algorithmic pricing. It's about childhood. It's about family, language, shared memory, and a profound sense of belonging. The architecture might be corporate, but the heartbeat is still human.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you have just perfectly described the dual nature of the 2026 tournament. It is not one or the other. It is both simultaneously.
A collision.
Yes, a high-speed collision of authentic emotion and calculated architecture. The fans, the families, the people traveling thousands of miles, painting their faces in their national colors, they provide the raw emotion. That is the fuel.
And the governing body brings the globally recognized brand and the official rule book.
Exactly. And the host countries provide the highly monetized, hyper-efficient platform. It takes all three of those elements working in tandem to turn a traditional sporting competition into a modern power event.
And the balance between those three elements is incredibly delicate. So, to synthesize today's analysis, we are basically watching a massive, real-time social and economic experiment. The 2026 World Cup is actively testing whether the world's most beloved, historically working-class game can be fully absorbed into the North American live sports business model without losing its soul.
That is the ultimate test. And if this model works, if it proves highly profitable and operationally smooth without entirely alienating the global fan base who feel priced out, make no mistake, the entire landscape of global events will shift.
Everyone will just copy it.
Future sports events, regardless of where they are held, will simply copy and paste this exact logic. We will inevitably see larger tournament formats to maximize broadcast inventory, higher pricing tiers driven by scarcity algorithms, and much heavier corporate integration embedded into the very fabric of the games.
So what does this all mean for you, the person listening right now? The true underlying risk here isn't a financial one.
No, it's not.
The danger isn't that international football loses money. I mean, the broadcast deals alone guarantee it won't. The real danger is that the sport loses proximity.
Proximity, that is the perfect word for it.
Right. The danger is that the game becomes commercially bigger on a massive global scale, but feels socially smaller and much further out of reach for ordinary people. It becomes something you consume from afar, rather than something you participate in locally.
It becomes a global attention engine trapped inside a commercial machine. It's an incredible, awe-inspiring logistical feat to witness, but it irrevocably changes the fundamental nature of what it means to be a fan.
Yeah, you transition from being a participant in a cultural ritual to being a consumer of a luxury media product.
Exactly.
It really does alter the relationship. So now that the matches are actively playing out across the continent, take a closer look at the screen. Ask yourself as you watch the roaring crowds, the vibrant colors, and the spectacular broadcasts over the coming weeks, are you witnessing a true inclusive global celebration, or are you just a localized data point in a North American power event built around a football?